Welcome back, everyone. I'm Liz, a trauma-informed yoga educator and passionate advocate for mental and emotional health. Today's episode is something I get so many questions about, and it's foundational for the work I do, the nervous system. If you ever felt stuck in overdrive, exhausted but wired, emotionally numb or overwhelmed, this is for you. Whether you're a yoga teacher, a practitioner, or simply someone on a healing journey, understanding your nervous system will change the way you relate to your body, your emotions, and your everyday life. So what is the nervous system? The nervous system is your body's communication network that constantly scans your environment for danger or safety. It decides whether you are in a regulated state where you feel calm, grounded, connected, or a survival state, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. This system operates on a primal level and evolved to protect you from sudden, immediate dangers. Think tiger jumping out of the bush. Your heart races, muscles tense, and you run. Then once the danger is gone, the energy gets discharged from the body and you return to a calm, regulated nervous system state. But there is a problem. The world we live in under chronic stress constantly triggers this survival system. Deadlines, emails, traffic, relationship stress, financial worry, social media pressure. The tiger never really leaves the room. The human nervous system was never designed to process the intensity, pace, and constant stimulation of the modern world. It's wired for bursts of stress, not chronic activation. Most of us live in near constant state of low-level threat. Our systems are overwhelmed. We are stuck in a loop of anxiety, disconnection, or shutdown. This leads to burnout, autoimmune issues, digestive problems, emotional numbness, insomnia, burnout, and many other physical, emotional, and mental challenges. Important to note here that your nervous system does not understand the difference between a real or a perceived danger. It doesn't understand the difference between a predator chasing you and wanting to eat you, or you sitting in your air-conditioned office in your ergonomic chair in front of your $3,000 laptop under tremendous pressure from your work. The nervous system responds the same way, producing the same stress hormones and entering into the same dysregulated survival states. But before we look into the 4 most common survival states, let's look at how a regulated nervous system feels. In case of regulated or calm nervous system, you most probably feel grounded, present in your physical body, present in the given moment, open to social connections and learning. But once you encounter a real or perceived danger, your nervous system can enter into 4 different dysregulated states based on what your nervous system thinks is your best strategy for survival in the given situation. So what are these 4 dysregulated nervous system states? First, fight response. When your nervous system perceives a stressful situation in a way that it thinks that your best strategy for survival is to fight back, to confront, to defend, it's going to enter into a fight response. Recognize this nervous system state by the emotions arising within you, such as anger, frustration, irritation, even rage, aggression, or territorial behavior. Then there is flight response. When your nervous system perceives that in a stressful situation, your best strategy for survival is to escape the situation, it enters into a flight response. So you will feel the urge to leave the situation as the body prepares to avoid the threat or danger. You can recognize this nervous system state by the emotions of fear and anxiety. If your nervous system perceives that in the given situation you have no way to fight back or escape, it might enter into a freeze response. Freeze response is characterized by physical and emotional numbness. By physical numbness, here I mean that your pain threshold increases. So when it comes to actual physical harm, you might not feel the pain in that moment, only delayed. By emotional numbness, I mean the tendency to emotionally shut down, to check out, disconnecting from the situation, the body and yourself as a self-preservation strategy, protecting you from overwhelm. Freeze is a very typical response in small children in the face of abuse. Small children cannot fight back as they are smaller, weaker than their abuser. They cannot really escape the situation either because they might depend on their abuser for food and shelter. So their best strategy for survival is to disconnect and shut down. Fawn response is often an overlooked survival response, but it's a super important one as many of us operate in the fawn response in our everyday lives. This survival strategy is about avoiding conflict and characterized by strong people-pleasing tendencies, difficulty setting boundaries around our time, energy and physical body, difficulty saying no, and prioritizing the needs of others instead of our own needs. And I say that this is an important one because so many of us are deeply conditioned from a very young age by society or by the most well-meaning parents that it's not okay to set boundaries. You might have an early childhood memory where an adult wanted to touch you, hug you, or kiss you, and you really didn't want it. But it was implied by your caregivers that if you don't sit in the lap of the creepy uncle or if you don't give a kiss to grandma, you are not a good person. This is how we get deeply conditioned from the beginning, from early childhood, not to set boundaries around our physical bodies. So when it comes to a yoga class, you might say yes to the touch of the teacher even if they ask for consent, even if you don't really want that physical touch. So why humans get traumatized? Once the real or perceived danger passes, our nervous system, in theory, should return into a regulated state. But it doesn't always happen. When you remain stuck in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response, that's what we call trauma. And here's something really important. Animals in the wild, they shake, they tremble, or discharge somehow the energy after a threat passes. Then they go on with their lives. Humans don't. Why is that? The short reply to this question is our overdeveloped human brain. Our neocortex, evolutionary, the newest part of the brain, the rational mind, the thinking mind, the logical brain, the analytical mind, often is powerful enough to override our brain stem, our instinctive brain that switches on fight, flight, freeze and fawn, ensuring your survival. And this is the part of the brain that should eventually return you into a regulated state. but being overpowered by the neocortex, it's not able to do its job. So the survival energy remains stuck in our body, in our nervous system. And if it's not released through safe movement, tears, expression, or connection, it builds into trauma. Important to mention here the vagus nerve and the polyvagal theory and its role in trauma responses. The vagus nerve is the main pathway of our parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest regulated nervous system state. It connects the brain, the heart, the lungs, and the gut, and it plays a crucial role in emotional regulation, social connection, and healing processes. Polyvagal theory, developed by Dr. Stephen Porges, teaches us that the nervous system isn't binary. It's not just on or off. It's more like a ladder, and we move up and down that ladder all the time. Here, the top of the ladder represents our ventral vagal state, where we are safe, connected, regulated, and grounded. The middle part of the ladder is our sympathetic nervous system, the activated nervous system, a fight or flight response. The bottom of the ladder, or dorsal vagal state, represents shutdown, collapse, freeze. So what this has to do with Yin Yoga? The ultimate goal of a Yin Yoga class is not relaxation. It is nervous system regulation. And therefore, in case the nervous system is in an activated state, in fight or flight response, indeed, we aim at down-regulating the nervous system. However, if the nervous system is already in a collapsed state, freeze or fawn, we want to up-regulate the nervous system. The goal isn't never to be dysregulated. We are not meant to be calm all the time. The goal is flexibility, to move through different states and come back to safety. If you have been feeling like you should be more grounded, you shouldn't feel anxious, let this be your reminder. Your nervous system isn't broken. It's doing exactly what it's designed to do, protecting you from harm. But in our modern world today, we need new ways to complete these cycles, to return to safety, to return to ourselves. And that's the work. This is why I teach what I teach. If this resonates, I invite you to download my free ebook on Meridians, Emotions, and Yin Yoga. I invite you to join my next free webinar series about trauma-informed yoga. Or you can join my next live teacher training in Koh Phangan, Thailand, to deepen your practice and teaching. Please also subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Thank you for being here, and always remember to slow down. Much love. Thank you.